Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Gruber Wired Hour. My name is Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson, and welcome and happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. It's my Friday.
It's your Friday. You're taking tomorrow off,
I'm taking a 4-day weekend.
Nice.
Got to do it, man.
Yeah.
Still recovering from being a little ill, so...
Yeah, we missed you last week.
I know, I miss being here.
So I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Yeah, this stuff's kind of going around everywhere right now.
Everybody I know is getting it.
Plus, we're warming up still. Got to remind everybody, especially in the Phoenix area, gosh, it is warming up, so make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids and watch your kids around the pool. We have
watch your kids around water. You know, Dave Muncie used to do that in the Fox 10 Weather Channel.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's been away for a while now.
He's been, a little bit.
Yeah, so... But yeah, no, it's been a great week. Gosh, business is picking up.
It's getting really busy.
Yeah. So thank you to all of our customers out there and everyone. It's a joy. And like I said, busy. It's a good place to be and a good problem to have.
Yes, it is. It's better than the alternative.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We don't want to be slow, right?
No. We gotta just keep the train on the tracks.
Yeah, exactly. So today we got kind of a fun show and fun topic to talk about, and that's just going to be kind of just a little bit of this, a little bit of that when it comes to weather-related issues, disasters, and how that affects technology.
Yes, that's what I call it. We interrupt this program, ...
Right?
That's what it said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what, we're looking at stuff that interrupts what normally should be. Things maybe we take for granted sometimes, things that should work and all of a sudden fritz.
Yeah, they don't work.
Right.
So, and one of the latest ones, if you notice the background here, this is actually a picture of the latest Aurora. I can't say that. Aurora Borealis. Aurora. That was actually taken by Mark's friend here.
Yeah, Chris Burkett. Yeah. Little shout out, Burkett Media. He is a wedding DJ.
Okay.
Met him when I was doing wedding photography, and he and I are good friends. And it's kind of a cool thing. He does up his house every year for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like one of the premier
It's at Christmas. It's Halloween, right?
It's Halloween, and then he transforms it for Christmas.
Oh wow, that's a transformation.
He does a winter wonderland. He has it all turned over in like a couple days.
How fun!
Yeah. Very cool. We'll invite you this year. You have to go see it.
I'll check it out.
It's called Haunted Graveyard is the thing. You can actually look at it on Google.
Okay.
He has I think a website and everything for it.
So he was able to snap this picture up out of what, Cave Creek?
Yeah, he drove up Scottsdale Road till he got to where he had a perch and took a picture of our Aurora Borealis, Arizona style. Notice the saguaro there, and very well themed.
Yeah, nice shade of night there, the purplish coming through. And there's been some great pictures came in from all around the country and world.
For those of you who don't know, this doesn't happen.
No.
I don't remember this ever happening. I've been here 50 plus years.
No, I have not seen something like this before myself either.
Yep.
So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So this has happened, and lots of these people all around, especially in our country, were able to go out and enjoy this. But what is the root cause of something like this?
Well, this is like from coronal mass ejections and solar radiation.
Okay.
Yep. So when the sun spits out enough of its stuff and sends it our way, then and this was a particularly big ejection, and they rate the storms it's nothing through G5, and this was, I believe, a G4 or 5, something like that. Yep.
So Jesse, we have a picture labeled picture A, if you could throw that up there for us. And this gives a kind of a diagram of what we're talking about, the electromagnetic radiation that's emitted from the sun. And here we go. And we kind of see there's got a little diagram of what takes place. The solar wind, which has a steady stream of charged particles such as electrons, protons, helium, nuclei, and magnetic fields from the sun, which we should start at the beginning with the solar flare. That's really where this begins to take place.
Right. And when it's kind of interesting because people are posting pictures, but the website Down Detector?
I'm not too familiar with
So
that.
it shows different websites and when they're down or when there are reports of things being down. They basically take reports from the field, you and I, people like us, saying, oh, we're having trouble with T-Mobile, or we're having trouble with AT&T or Cox or whatever. And so it has all these websites. And there was some, because these flares started hitting during the day, and they're not, doesn't only happen during the evening, right? So
Sure, yeah.
when they know these solar storms are coming in, you can see when you go on down detector, activity start to spike on reports of outages or problems
and issues that come along with it. So if I follow the diagram, basically it starts with a solar flare, which leads to coronal mass ejection, which then flows as solar winds towards the Earth. And as it comes into contact with the Earth's magnetic field, that's when you begin to see these geomagnetic storms take place.
Yep.
And that's where you're going to see the infusion of the electromagnetic radiation into our atmosphere. And as that, ejects through, that's where this Aurora Borealis kind of comes through, and we're able to see the different spectrum of the light rays.
Yep.
And that can lead to cause issues with all sorts of electronics, cell phones, and just kind of disruptions. Now, the storms we had recently were pretty powerful storms, but I don't recall hearing too much as far as knocking out any of the services. I think we were under pretty good control.
Yeah, I mean there was activity that was spiking, but nothing was like taken down like the power grid or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and something really interesting too. So I'd seen a diagram, and the colors that show mean something. That's actually what particles in the atmosphere is engaging with.
Okay.
So if it's engaging with the oxygen molecules, and the oxygen molecules are dense, I think that's a blue. The green is the loose oxygen molecules, and then I think the red was the nitrogen.
Okay.
When it interacts with that.
So as it ionizes, then you get those color variations that come through.
Right. So basically, those are the layers of the atmosphere. Your loose oxygen, then loose nitrogen, oxygen, denser oxygen, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's been so long.
I read it once,
I
but
had to go back and look at. Thank you, Google. You could help us out with that.
So the colors mean something. That indicates what particles in the atmosphere it's interacting with.
Now, most of these particles do interact with the high definition radio frequencies, which is where most of the bands that we use, for cell phone frequencies and such as that.
Right.
Now, I know these come rated as types of storms, like G1 through G5.
Yep.
And so G1 being the lowest on the scale, G5 just the height of the scale. What would it take, you think, to come up with, how powerful of a storm we need to see where we'd see actual disruptions?
Well, that was the one that we had the last week or week before was it was a G4, G5. See, I think it might be much ado about nothing. I think that it's a little fear porn, but
yeah, some of it is, but I was reading here, March of 1989, they had a solar storm, and a severe magnetic storm caused a 9-hour blackout in Quebec. See, millions of people. So we know it can happen.
I think our systems are a lot more protected now than they have been.
Yeah.
I think as newer systems go in, I think there's a lot more shielding, a lot more.
Sure.
Right.
We're going to discuss this a little bit later, but there's a whole new generation of just, the, what am I looking for? Cabling and harsh environment cabling and all the equipment that's out there to protect from, solar storms and things of this nature.
Right. And I don't think that it knocked out like those little Starlink satellites, and those are closer than.
Yeah.
They don't have the protection of the atmosphere, right?
Didn't see any of those falling from the sky.
No. Yeah, it was. They seem to be okay.
We might have some more issues with all the cicadas, flying around the country.
That's a horse of a different color. Yeah.
Jesse,
it's the double brood this year.
Yeah, Jesse, you're saying there's some pretty dramatic pictures of these things out there?
No, I'm hoping my mom's going to send me some.
Okay.
She's on the East Coast. I
Yeah.
haven't seen any yet. I'm sure there. I've seen. I think Aaron was saying he saw somebody eating some.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a minor league game where I guess the Cicadas started getting into the stadium, and some fans that had some alcoholic beverages were dipping them in them and taking bites of them. So pretty interesting out there.
Wow.
Cicada nachos.
Wow. Whatever happened to the peanuts and Cracker Jacks, you know?
Hey, these probably have a better crunch.
Yeah. So now we got cicadas and fireball, you know?
Yeah.
So,
when alcohol's involved, anything can happen.
that's true. I
Right?
think we've seen it all, right?
I don't know. I've had a lot of alcohol and I've never eaten cicadas.
No, I've never been tempted either. But there's some people who are,
Yeah, they'd be tempted, especially when money's on the table, right?
yeah, then there you go.
It's like, how far will you go when the money starts getting laid on the
Exactly.
table? Yeah. It just kind of goes from there.
But I don't think we have any worry about them interfering with any of the grid or anything like that.
No, not that I'm aware of. I think we'll be okay. We'll survive the double brood.
I think they might short circuit your bug zapper if they can get through the little cage, right? They're a little big for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, those little guys. But there's all sorts of disasters and things that take place that can interrupt the systems that we live with in every day.
Right.
Here in the Southwest, I think one of our biggest issues is just heat.
Yeah. We're very fortunate though, because we have the largest nuclear power plant in the country here. 50
just miles from here,
50 miles west of Phoenix.
Yeah.
And Palo Verde nuclear power plant, keeps us pretty steady Eddie on the grid. I think you had a picture of the power grid, didn't you? And outages and stuff.
Let's see here. Picture number 5. Anyway, this is just a picture of a power grid, and you're right. That's one of the things that can be disrupted, during a natural disaster or a disaster of some sort. And this is, again, it just affects our everyday life when this happens.
I don't know if that was the picture I was thinking of. I think there was another picture that had it showed like an outage map or something like that.
Yeah, I don't recall. Well, I'm sure we'll run into it.
Well, we skipped to 5, so that means 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't know if it was one of
we'll
those.
go back up and catch
All
them.
right, okay.
Yeah. But the power grid, most definitely the most disruptive and problems that we could have is
Right.
amongst that power grid, which is why it's very crucial in your systems to have UPS backup systems.
Absolutely. Yep.
I mean, it's just a necessity when it comes to
protect your valuable electronics.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and that's just the way that's one of the products that you're going to need out there. And that's definitely something that we can talk about. We should probably get some of the girls in here maybe to talk about that. You think?
Yeah. You mean the power team?
The power team.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should challenge them to some, knowledge drop stuff. What do you think?
Oh, that'd be interesting for sure. We might be in trouble though.
Why?
They're pretty smart. Give them some credit.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. So, anyway, power team, Gruber Power Hour.
Next week here.
Meet us right here at this desk. We will get into some Gruber trivia.
Yeah, let's play a little game.
Yeah. Let's have a little bit of fun with this.
A little throwdown.
Yeah. We'll see how well it goes.
Get better study.
How about this? Winner buys lunch?
Winner buys lunch?
Winner buys lunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, we're going to lose?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay.
So we get free lunch coming.
Well, shouldn't it be losers buy lunch? No, you want to buy them lunch, right?
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Nah, we'll have some fun with it either way. So
just real quick, if you're watching, subscribe, and share this podcast. Where are we now viewer-wise?
I think 178,000.
Yeah.
Right in there.
Getting there. On our way to 1 million.
That we are.
And if you have any comments and want us to answer any questions or, talk about whatever you want to talk about related to the topic today, go ahead and post your comments. We'd love to see what you got to say.
Yeah. So talking back to the power grids and the power, UPS systems, that's something that we do provide here at Gruber, Gruber Power. So if you have questions, have any needs, feel free, shoot us an email, give us a call, and we'll get you with the right people.
That's it.
So, yeah. Let's go back to photo number 1. We'll start at the top of the list here. Besides power, which is something we all have to have, the financial markets. This could really be stressful going through these situations.
People get a little funny when they can't get to their money.
I know, right? Especially the stock market, you know?
So photos are not working at the moment.
No?
I'm not
Okay.
sure why. Give me one
That's all
second.
right. We'll just keep talking here.
See, when things don't work like when you think they're going to work.
It's called being prepared.
We interrupt this program, right?
But no, the financial markets, this is actually really huge for a lot of people. I mean, it does become a concern. You're going through a disaster of some sort, and the financial market's down, especially Wall Street. A lot of people have savings of 401k plans, IRA plans, the Roth plans that are out there, and they're concerned about their money and the well-being of that. And so you might not read too much into it, but we need these systems to continuously be up and running.
You take for granted things that work until they don't. Kind of like on your body, you know, you just take for granted your feet, your hands, and your eyesight and everything. And then, you know, like if you stub your toe, you are absolutely reminded instantly
Right.
that it's there, right? You take it for granted
Yeah,
until
reminded how annoying it is to have toes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you just don't think about it until that happens, and then you know,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we've
So-
all done that.
Right. So just it's the things in life that you take for granted that you know we miss when they're not working or not there.
Yeah, and especially in a time of emergency. I
Yep.
mean, yeah. So a lot of times people worry about those financial institutions and situations, and to just be prepared for that. You know, make
Yep.
sure that you are ready and steadily available. Make sure you probably have some cash on hand in case
Buy
it's needed.
gold.
You know,
Buy gold.
I've been buying silver.
Yeah,
I
silver's
think
easy
silver is
too.
a good market to be in right now.
I
So,
agree. Yep.
Yeah. The next scenario is how these things disrupt the healthcare system. Because in time of need, time of emergency, and you need to get to the hospital, you need emergency right away, emergency help. This could be an issue. Just simply getting from your location during one of these disasters to the hospital. Then once you get there, you need to make sure that they're operational.
Right.
And
Right.
it's like the pandemic, right? When we started out in the pandemic, we were one of the companies that stayed open. All right, coming to work every day. We're dealing with communications. I cannot tell you how many cables and how much time we spent with pop-up hospitals around the country.
Sure.
You know,
I can
just
imagine.
to be there for them, you know, to take care of people.
Okay, so we have the images back, and I have the video that Aaron sent. So I was able to get
Hey.
Discord. So we're gonna give it just a couple seconds pause here because we'll probably get claimed for this because it's
Yeah.
Major League Baseball or minor league baseball.
This is the cicada eating,
So we'll have to
right?
cut this part out, but we're gonna play it. Give me one sec. All right, here we go. Switch over here.
No.
And we're
No.
not gonna hear it, but this oh, he is dipping it in the what? Why?
I mean, why would you take little bites of it? Is what I'm wondering.
Multiple bites to savor the.
Yeah.
You got to wash it down.
Like, oh,
Look at
here's
that.
the head guts. Oh, here's the body guts.
Oh, it was the wings were still flapping. It's alive.
Oh, this guy's gonna go for it. Check it out.
Because it dropped in his beer. I bet you that's what they're doing. If it drops in your beer, you're gonna eat it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He had to. Yeah. You don't want to eat the wings. You don't want to eat the wings.
All right, I think that's probably.
Wow. Oh, look. We got some more? Nope.
I don't know what this is.
They're
but-
showing normal people now, or maybe they have deep fried cicada.
Yeah.
Chocolate covered cicadas.
Cicada on a stick.
Well, there is.
That was.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We
there's
interrupt this program to let you know that during a natural disaster, it's okay to eat cicadas. They will keep you alive. Right?
If you, I remember in the Beijing Olympics, when was that? Like 4 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
They would show their food market and all. I mean, scorpions
insects
and
and-
beetles and worms and
Yeah.
like they eat everything.
Sure.
Imagine with 1 billion people you got to.
Well, they're raised that way. They wouldn't know the difference. They'd look at us and say, "Ooh, you're eating a Twinkie," So it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it just was really eye-opening.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Wall Street, I mean, we're going back to the number one picture here, but we talked about this a little bit ago. Sometimes I don't think we watch like the movie Wall Street and some of those older shows, and there's people on the floor and there's papers flying everywhere and everybody's yelling and screaming. But wow, yeah, look at it as today. It is so automated. You have so much going on with technology there. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so much there.
I think that first question is for Aaron. Why?
Those are the hashtags from last week. So I think it's Jesse. Is it when you
can
create
update
it?
those. Yeah, when we reuse the settings sometimes.
Yeah, I usually copy and paste the new ones in after the show is done, and so those usually will go away once we've ended the live.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Janie says, yeah, Gruber was an essential company during the pandemic. We were in here every day, grinding away at it, making sure that we were a resource for those who need it out there. And it was a fun time, amazing time, a difficult time, but we helped get through it. So yeah, it was great. Janie said, that's gross. Yeah, it kind of is. So Janie, since you are watching and listening, have you accepted our offer to come on next week and play some trivia with us? We'll see if she responds.
The power team, yeah.
Yes, you and Nicole.
So does the loser of that challenge next week have to eat a cicada?
Ooh, that's a good one.
No. I wouldn't do that to them. I would not do that to them.
Yeah, we could do that. Let's jump to...
Yeah.
There we go. There's the hospital we were talking about. But again, these are services that when you need them, they need to be there. And I believe we do quite a bit of work with hospitals with uninterruptible power supplies.
Yeah, I think we could probably, do quite a bit more in Datacom there.
I'm sure there's a much more marketplace for that when they need it. Yeah, most definitely, especially since they're building like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Janie, what are the terms of the agreement?
What does that mean?
I guess in regards to playing some trivia with us.
We're going to show pictures and we're going to identify what's in the picture.
Yeah, we're just going to have some fun, do some trivia, but it's all going to be based on Gruber and our Gruber website.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. We're just going to have some fun, create some entertainment, and just see where it goes.
And educate the public at the same time.
Exactly.
It's a theme show that actually is going to have good info.
Yeah, for a change, right?
It's always good info. It's always good info. It's just sometimes it's not necessarily directly relevant. We do stuff adjacent.
Yeah.
We're Gruber product adjacent a lot of days.
Yeah, some days, most days, but
this is a way to make it fun though.
Picture number 3, we'll go right down here. During the time of need and emergencies, we all might have a possibility to need the service of those people who work as first responders. And so that's where we start talking more about the cabling and the systems that are out there.
There's the wee-woos.
Yeah. But we need to make sure that these folks could get out there to help people.
Yep.
And that's where we come in with our cabling products and helping to make sure that backup systems are working, running, using harsh environment cabling, just whatever's necessary for those means. All these pictures here, every one of those vehicles use some sort of the cabling that we make.
Sure.
So we just need to identify what that cabling is and what needs to be done with it and take care of that situation for them.
I know one of our sales people did a bunch of cable assemblies for squad cars for a major metropolitan police department.
Yeah, I think it was based out of California, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I do some for a police department back east. So, yeah, we're always in, speaking with them, making sure they have to take care of those needs that they have. But when we need these people there, we need them. No ands, ifs, or buts.
And they're using in some of the equipment now. They're using fiber optics on their mobile stuff. Yeah,
yeah, and especially with this armored fiber optics as well for certain situations that are needed. But like I said, at the end of the day, we can supply all those cabling needs that they have.
Oh, so I wasn't here last week, so I didn't get
Yeah.
to talk about this, but so that one there was a customer who contacted me, and they had never heard of this kind of fiber, and neither had I. Plastic optical fiber,
Yeah.
plastic, not glass.
Yeah.
And we tracked it down and were able to acquire what they needed for this customer of theirs who had a cable cut. And it actually, that piece of fiber went into a lightning detection system.
Okay.
Yeah. So one end of the cable went up a pole and the other one connected to a circuit board. And so there's only one termination end that's the same as glass fiber, and that's the ST termination. Otherwise, there's 5 different other terminations that kind of fiber has that the glass fiber, it's different than the glass fiber. Yeah.
Interesting. That'd be cool to look into.
Yeah, it was. I'm like, I guess I suppose it could happen, right? I mean, I think that if I'm not mistaken, it's just pure light that travels over that cable instead of just like data.
Yeah.
And so it was basically the light from lightning was getting into the cable up at the top of the pole and then ran into the board, and the board detected the light flash.
Huh.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. Reminds me a couple years back, and I got to find someone around here has the video, but we had a company come in. I was talking to them in the parking lot, introducing myself. Anyway, they were a research team that researched bats. Okay. They happened to be over here from Australia doing some research, and they had a robot that was linked by fiber optic cable, and they had a break in the fiber optic cable. So they heard that we could do the repair. So what was really cool was we're like, yeah, we can get this done, take care of their needs, fix the repair. Well, then afterwards they took it out in the parking lot and showed us how they deployed this robot.
Oh, nice.
So it was really cool to see this thing in operation in our parking lot here. But they used this robot, and what they would do was they were able to go into caves to study the bats, right? But there's locations where people and humans, we just couldn't get to.
Yeah.
And so they would send this robot in there through a line of fiber optic cable.
Nice.
And then they would get all their data and research, and then pull, of course, the robot would come back out.
Right.
But I'll just have to find out if I can locate that video, because that'd be fun to play on the show.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. So, yeah, kind of off topic, but hey, we're just going with it, right?
Gruber Industries. We do cool stuff.
Yeah. Every day. See, number 4. Get back here. Yeah, this is the last place you want to have any sort of issues with outages in your data and communication systems, right?
Yep.
Air traffic control. Gosh, we really rely on these people and this equipment to be able to make sure that we stay safe while flying all around the world.
Absolutely. That's and until not too long ago, the computer systems with the FAA were pretty antiquated. I know
a lot still are. Believe it or not, I work with the FAA, and we still supply old Cat 3 systems and cabling and so forth. And so they still are working, but the system still works. They're upgrading as they go, but then we're taking care of the previous equipment that was there. So making sure that the system is redundant in case of this.
Yep.
So I know for a fact in this particular situation, they're upgrading using fiber optics and so forth and upgrading their systems, but they're leaving the old cabling in as a redundant system in case of failure.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So there's some areas where we can see where, we're just going to leave it there, and in case of emergency, they have a backup system.
Great.
So yeah, good stuff. Number 6, this is kind of our area here.
Wait, did we already show 5? That was the grid
that's the
one?
power grid. But what we do every day, telecommunications outages.
Yep. Everything from cable cuts to natural disasters.
Oh, it happens all over, and we don't stop to think about the places where this does take effect and can happen to us. This happens to be a data center that went up in flames, of all things, overseas.
Wow.
This is not where you want a fire to take place.
I didn't know if those were a bunch of EV batteries or not.
No, I don't believe so.
No.
But gosh, I mean, one data center goes down. Can you imagine the millions of people that could affect?
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's why everybody is supposed to have, disaster recovery plans, and they have clustering and failovers and cloud solutions to hopefully make that a non-event as far as the data goes.
Sure, but it doesn't take much, like one fire here that will do what? Knock out these little guys.
Yeah.
You want to see people like freak out with just wait till their phone doesn't work for over 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah, no,
and it's an important piece of technology to have. I think we take these for granted, and understanding what they could really be and the resource that we have here. At the end of the day.
I feel naked without mine. I really do. I feel like if I don't care if I'm 5 or 10 minutes headed somewhere. If I forgot my phone, I'm turning around and going back. Yeah. I just can't.
Yeah, I'm not that way as much. I'll leave my phone at home when we go out. My wife is glued to hers. So I know she always has it with her in case of emergency or something.
So you leave your phone when you go out?
Yeah. Why do I need it?
That's the most. It doesn't compute. For me.
Right? Yeah. No. I'm kind of like, okay.
I gotta take mine everywhere.
Really?
You were going to say something, and I know what you were going to say.
I probably shouldn't say that.
I was like, yeah. You don't even have to complete that sentence.
Well, Jesse, you got to understand too, and he probably grew up in this era, though. We didn't have this technology back then. If we were out, we were out. If you wanted to visit,
10 years older than you.
I know, but if we wanted to visit a friend,
you don't have to live that way anymore.
I know,
yeah.
But if we wanted to visit a friend, we were on a bicycle riding down, knocking on their door. But I don't know. To me, it's not a necessity in my life to happen to have that phone there.
Almost reported us to the fire department. Thought you guys needed help with the wee woo.
He needs help. Report.
I fully admit that. There's no denying it. And I need therapy after sitting, across cubicle from you all day, every day.
Yeah.
But,
I get my therapy throughout the day. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. He gets it handed to him.
Yeah, but that's okay. I enjoy it actually. So, but back to these telecommunications is just, it's one of those things that we almost just have to live with nowadays. It's so commonplace, throughout society that we take it for granted.
Yep.
And again, it's one of those things. And that was the photo of a data center going down. But these data communication lines are all over the world, underneath the ocean as well, connecting continents, connecting everyone together. And there's been many instances of where, let's see, Suez Canal internet outage, 2008. Several undersea cables were cut in the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear about this all the time. It happens. Alexandria cable cut 2008. Multiple undersea cables were severed off the coast of Alexandria in Egypt, which left the Middle East just dead in the water as far as communications go.
Well, I think I mentioned here before, but in a previous life with another company in Scottsdale, we had a cable cut.
Yeah.
And, fortunately, when I had put our data center, which was like 2 servers and 2 racks and a bunch of switches and everything, but I had, for our internet connection, I had put in redundancy. So we had Quest coming in on one thing, and we had Cox as the failover.
Okay.
And so with the cut, we were still able to keep going because there was actually a connection between our office here in Scottsdale and our office in Atlanta. So
Nice.
It would have taken our Atlanta office completely down because the servers were here.
Yeah.
But it, all the VoIP, everything just failed over to that other connection.
Yeah, it's these things we take for granted. And again, wanting to be safe, let's just talk about some of the other natural disasters that we experience here in the United States. Probably one of the bigger ones is hurricanes.
Well, right now, tornadoes, man.
Yeah.
A big deal right now.
Yeah, we just had a family member lose their entire house. They only had moments to get their children. This was in Iowa 2 days ago.
Yeah.
They had
like
moments.
over 100 tornadoes.
Yeah, they had just moments to get their kids, and they got in the basement, and luckily they did because the tornado hit them head on and leveled their home.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's
scary stuff. But then you stop thinking about it after something like that and you need help. What if the services are down again?
Right.
You know, so how to react in those situations and take a look. I mean, everybody should have some sort of disaster plan in place, you know, personally, just so that if something does happen, that you can take care of your needs.
Yep.
And turning to the cell phone, I think is probably the first thing everyone would do, you know, but if the cell phones are out, then what's your next course of communication?
Smoke signals.
Smoke signals.
Don't you have a hand crank radio?
I do. I bought
That's
one.
the hear stuff, though, right?
Well, no. This one it's a hear stuff. I got a hand crank radio that's also battery powered, solar powered. Okay, and also can charge devices as well. So you could still have be able to get that and so forth and go from there.
Yeah, we have those little, you know, like those Baofeng radios, right? So. But you got to have somebody on the other end to listen.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's, hello, Michael Scott. All right. So you and Dwight are here. Great.
Hey, I got a question about cell phones.
Yeah.
Well, how come satellite phones haven't overcome cell phones? What makes cell phones better for the long term than a satellite phone?
Good question.
I don't think it's necessarily a thing of better. I think it's a thing of proximity, right? It's
it's also price.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it takes a significantly more sophisticated receiver for satellite, I would think. I don't know.
Yeah, good question, though. I'd have to look that one up, honestly.
And satellite stuff, you know, like when I first got DirecTV, and I was in North Carolina, and anytime it rained heavy, the satellite went out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonder
So I
why.
don't know if it's subject to, you know, that kind of interference or not.
I don't know. We'll find out and we'll get an answer back to you. You know, we'll have to take a look at and ask Google.
There you go.
But gosh, you know, like you point out, tornadoes, hurricanes I was going with too.
Right.
You know, and not just the hurricanes, but you have these storms. Recently, what's spawning a lot of these tornadoes are some of the storms coming up through the Gulf of Texas. And so you see that devastation take place and all across the board. So
Is there a Gulf of Texas?
it's the Gulf of Texas, I call it. Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of Texas. Depends on what you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's some water.
It's a big body of water right there.
And then, probably one of the other things that would affect us here, and it hasn't happened, but someday they're calling for the big one, the earthquake, of course.
Yeah. I mean, they happen pretty regularly in California, but the major ones, fortunately, don't.
Yeah, I know. And there's a whole bunch of, you know, there's different zones throughout the United States which represent earthquake, you know, proximity zones. Okay.
Right.
And what the likelihood of those, earthquakes would be. And so there are a lot of data communication products which are seismic rated. So when you're putting together these systems, that you are prepared for those particular events.
Right.
You know, so that's something to keep in mind depending on your location. I imagine lots probably along the West Coast, California, maybe a little bit on the East Coast. But there's going to be areas there where you've got to have some seismic rated equipment in order, you know, to pass inspection, especially in probably places like hospitals,
Right.
you know, institutions, places like that.
Right. Very true. Tornadoes are cool from across town, but when they turn toward you, it's another story. Yeah, you know, you're from Alabama, so you would know about that. And I know there's a lot of TikTok stuff.
Yeah.
That, you know, showing those tornadoes. I don't know if that's coming toward us. Oh, we better get down. We better go in the basement. It's like, you know, because it's hard perspective-wise, especially those wedge tornadoes when they're so big and you can't really see. It's not like a finger where, you know, you can kind of see it moving toward you.
No.
Those bigger ones, they just kind of get up on them.
And I think it's a perspective thing, like you said.
Yeah. And
catches you by surprise.
Why is it that so many tornadoes hit at night, in the middle of the night? I'm like,
it's the cooling of the atmosphere, right?
I don't know. I mean,
with the heat of the, you know,
I don't know what the reason is, but I know I spent several summers in Northeast Iowa, and getting woken up in the middle of the night with a tornado siren. Not the way you want to wake up.
No.
No.
But it's scary.
Yeah. I remember I had to be like 14, 15. And it went off. I look outside and all it is fog. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, we won't even be able to see it coming.
No.
Yeah.
That
it
dense
was
fog. It'd suck up so fast you would maybe last minute before you knew it was there.
Is Michael Scott hairy?
I've often wondered that.
He's jumping on the hand crank radio thing.
Yeah,
And
he
that
is.
makes me think it's Harry. I don't know.
I'll bring mine in one of these days and show you guys what I got. So
It was the bathtub with the mattress over you. Yeah. That's scary.
well, we had a microburst. My mom was in town. It was October. I want to say it was right around 2011, probably somewhere in there. But anyway, at the house at the time, we had this huge storm come through. And I was getting ready to take the kids out to football practice. And I looked outside and I'm like, oh, immediately black. And I looked, my mother happened to be in town. I said, everyone in the bathroom now.
Yeah.
And I put him in the bathroom. I lit a candle and I said, you guys stay in here. By the time I got back out to the living room, we had hail balls the size of softballs coming through the front window of our home. They were coming through the roof. I mean, it just hit. And I looked down the street and the sewer covers out there, those things probably weigh what, 110, 120 pounds?
Yeah.
It looked like a quarter flipping up in the air. I mean, this thing was flipping, and it just blew me away.
Wow.
It destroyed our home.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, no.
It's scary.
So in June of 1971, we moved here from back east back in 68, and in 71, so I was at
I don't know what that means.
I don't either, man. That really blew me out of the
Michael Scott says, no, I got waxed yesterday.
Would you rather know that or eat a cicada?
Does that mean like 40-year-old virgin waxed?
No, I'm thinking waxed on, waxed off.
It got like waxed, like beat.
I think what Michael Scott is trying to say is Michael Scott is a female.
That doesn't necessarily indicate that, though.
Nah. So we'll find out. We'll have to do some searching.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, so I grew up around 64th Street in Shea, and we had a tornado take out our entire neighborhood except for our house and the house at the other end of the street. All the other houses, unlivable. Yeah.
Wild.
It was crazy.
But yeah,
and that's Arizona.
It is. Like I said, I go back to our biggest issue is heat more than anything else at this point in time. And we really haven't seen the monsoons over the past few years. They kind of faded away on us for a moment. So, but when we did get monsoons, then you'd watch out for the microburst and the quick moving storms that would roll through the valley.
Yeah, straight line winds are those are pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you have flooding. That's something else we don't think about often that does happen. We've had that happen here in the valley. They've worked effortlessly to redesign some of the road work so we get some of the runoff away. And one of the problems we have here is we're in the desert, right? And everything's flat.
Yeah.
We really don't have a good system to be able to run water away from the city.
And they still can't get the underpasses right.
No.
They get flooded. Because, it's amazing how many times those pumps break.
Yeah.
Only when it rains.
Well, yeah, that's
the only time they run.
It's good. You just got to speed up and hydroplane through it.
Yeah, the faster you go, well, yeah. Oh, yeah, that works with, I saw a TikTok with with potholes. And it turns out the faster you go, the less of a problem it is for the car. Depending on certain,
really?
Yeah, it was like
that's interesting.
They went over. It was this big pothole, and they went over it at like 35 miles an hour, and the front bumper came off. Like it was that harsh of a pothole.
Yeah.
And then they amped it up to like 55, 75, 95 miles an hour, and at about 200 miles an hour, it was just a toot toot. The car didn't even go down. It was just like running over a pebble in the road.
Really?
Yeah.
Need to upgrade my car then, because I don't think I can do 200. I can get maybe 100.
See the pothole, speed up. That's the lesson from today.
Well, I know I can get my minivan up to about 128.
How do you know that?
So I just know it can go there. I know it can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, do you have a can of NOS in that minivan?
Right? I'm telling you, he goes out to Phoenix International Raceway.
That's
and,
right. Yeah, off we go.
John in the minivan.
There's a nice stretch. If you ever been to Vegas from here,
Yeah.
there's a nice stretch between Wickenburg and Vegas. That's a nice straight road.
And so you just felt the need to see where it could go.
You can, yeah. There's nothing out there.
You're not admitting to anything.
Nope. Never did
Okay.
break speed limit.
I don't think either of my diesels have ever been over 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the limit for me. I'm good with that.
I mean, if you're
80
into
and you get
fixing
scared.
cars, then, pedal to the metal, right?
Right.
But I'm not, I don't,
Once in a while, you just have to find out.
really?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Just got to go for it, man. Just go for it.
I'll take your word for it. All right.
Now let's pull up picture number 8.
Did we talk about banks?
That was number 7. There we go. Yeah. Reason I bring this up is because whenever we see natural disasters, we have supply chain issues.
Yeah.
And this is just something that we always see happening. We get backups in the ports. We have a problem getting supplies out to the areas in need. And so making sure that we have the infrastructure still in place, or portable infrastructure that is there necessary in order to be able to communicate and get the products where they need to go.
I know at one point before the COVID hoax, they had, the standard in the supply chain was called just in time delivery, right?
Okay, yeah.
So everything was all on this nice choreographed, orchestrated. Things showed up when they needed to. Factories had what they needed. There wasn't stockpiling or anything like that. It was all just in time, right? And it kind of blew everything out of the water.
Huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as we know from our recent past history, supply chain issues, especially with boats like this, they can also cause damage to bridges and so forth as well.
Michael Scott, Legos. Purple.
Legos.
Purple. I can say something random too.
Monkey, frog.
That was for you, Harry. No, I think he's talking about the stuff on the boat, maybe.
Could be. It looks like Legos, right? Stack them up like Legos.
I suppose if you squint, it could turn. Yeah.
But there's different things that can take place on ships as well, as far as like cabling, going down, causing disruptions to the power on the boats. I mean, it's just a lot of things out there. These are probably areas where we'd see a lot more harsh environment cabling being used, especially NEMA rating. That's another thing to bring up. There's NEMA rating for, boxes and so forth and supplies that are out there. And basically what NEMA does, they go and they rate this and say, okay, we have a control panel and control box, and it is rated to handle dust. It is rated to handle moisture. It's rated to keep salt water out.
Okay.
So there's a whole rating chart that you can go through in these scenarios, situations where it might apply to the products that you need that are harsh environment.
Gotcha.
So that's always something to take a look at. Let's see what else we got here. Picture number 9.
Number nine.
Number 9. This is something that could affect us and affects a lot of people. We are in manufacturing. So if we have a problem, it can affect our downtime, right?
Sure.
And so that's something that we do need to take a look at, and then take a look at the environment we're in and be redundant so that our systems don't go down, so that we can stay in tune, stay up to date with our manufacturing.
Right.
And so there you go, is an automobile plant. What you can see in here as far as using, the particular types of robotic cables that are needed, a high flex cable, depending on the jacket that's needed. But there's all sorts of, cabling that's needed in these areas to help keep them functional.
Always fascinates me to see those production floors.
It is. It's pretty cool. So number 11, kind of hopping around here.
Kind of defeats the purpose of numbering them.
I know.
Yeah, you throw
Just
in
looking at the time.
Yeah.
Looking at the time, we talked about, well, we ate some cicadas, right? Cicadas in our diet. Definitely one area that we don't want to see have some issues is in the military and defense scenario and situation. So this is an area that talk about cabling going down or having some issues with their cabling that we do definitely need redundancy. Michael Scott back with us, a boat of Legos. Yo, I'll solve it.
Check out the hook. Well, the DJ revolves it. Ice, ice, baby.
Wow.
Are we gonna get? Are we gonna? We're not gonna get tagged for that one, are we? No,
I don't think so. But we have done a lot of work with the White House, with military, with the defense, defense sector out there, and taking care of their needs when it comes to cabling. But this definitely another area where we can take a look and say, hey, we better make sure we have some UPS systems in this bad boy.
And one of the things that cabling supplied, to the military and to the government, it definitely at a minimum has to be TAA compliant, but a lot of times the BAA compliant.
Sure.
Yep.
ISO certified. I mean, there's lots of different certifications that the government goes through, and so that's something that we do take a look at.
Yep.
Let's get into a few cables before the end of the show here. So we're going to jump to number 14. We were talking about harsh environment cables. So these are the cables that are built for these systems to be in these environments where they're definitely needed, whether it's temperature resistant, moisture resistant, UV resistant,
armored.
So these are some of the cabling, cable options that we have available for us. This actually is a, Ethernet cable. And so these can be shielded. They come in different varieties, just depends on the need.
Right. And, you would think that the armored cable would be like for heavy things rolling over it, but it is not.
No, the whole real purpose of having armor there is so that it does not become a chew toy for, say, like rodents.
Yes.
It's to rodent proof it.
Right.
And the reason being that you got to watch where you're using this armor is because if you roll something heavy over it, that armor will actually
crimp
and bend, but it doesn't have any sort of release to it.
Right.
Not like a standard jacketed cable that is going to, once it's, depressed upon, release back into place.
Right. That's why when you see like field deployable cabling, it's just thick rubberized with multiple jackets, and it has give to it.
Yeah.
As opposed to what you would think armored.
Yeah, we used a lot of that in working with the Super Bowl. Just because you have all of these studios bringing their trucks out to the stadium,
right? They're
running over cables as they come into the parking lots, and they just don't necessarily pay attention to where the cable's being run,
right?
And they get ran over. A lot of the cabling that's used in that situation has actually been considered tank proof. They've actually military's taken and run tanks over it, and it has not damaged the cable.
Right.
So, number 15. Pardon me. So next would be getting into some of the fiber optics and some of the harsh environment fiber optics that we have. So,
right.
So, here you have a distribution cable, and some of the features you're going to see on here is you have the outer jacket, which is a very ruggedized UV protected outer jacket. Then you have the Teflon. Is that Teflon? What am I thinking?
Yeah.
The yellow strands. How come I can't think of it?
Oh,
I said Teflon. It's not Teflon. We're not cooking on this stuff.
No, but I think it might be.
Maybe it is Teflon. It's used for make, anyway, that's what they used to make armor jackets out of.
Right.
Kevlar. Thank you. And then, of course, this happens to have a shield or a armor on it as well. And then you have an inner jacket to help protect. And if you see at the tip of that right there where the fiber's coming out, this is waterproof gel.
Okay.
So this is a very harsh environment, ruggedized fiber optic cable that can be used in these, various environments.
I mean, it gets pretty sophisticated.
It does. Yeah, there's a lot of research done on these things.
Never say never, Michael Scott. We will never know. My friend Chris took that picture of the Northern Lights up off of Scottsdale Road toward Cave Creek.
Yeah, it's a cool picture. I like it.
Yep.
So let's go number 16. Here's something I think that we've all been able to run into in our lifetime, a coax cable.
Yes.
Most of us know this from just having cable TV from years past.
RG6.
There you go. But yeah, as you see here, again, we with this particular coax, it's got a very rugged outdoor rugged jacket on there,
Right.
followed by some armor and shielding, and then you have that inner polyurethane sleeve over the cable itself,
Right.
as you can see there. And so this is a very good cable for lots of different types of applications, especially outdoors.
Right. Yep. And most of the cables either like double shielded or quad shielded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go number 17. Here we go. This is actually an industrial USB serial cable. And I know we probably all use these at home every day, but not in this manner. So
Not with the metal jacket.
yeah, not with that particular jacket, but this would be more for like your industrial use, robotics, and all those kind of needs that you might have out there for those.
Yep. Very cool.
Good stuff. Number 18. Now, this cabling here is more geared towards PoE. So
PoE is power over Ethernet.
power over Ethernet. So in something like this, where you see, you can see there's 26 gauge core PVC jacket, soft, and it's wear resistant. It's got the twisted pairs, and it also has the spline in there, which helps. Well, they call it anti-interference, but
Right.
helps with that as well. This particular cable will be used in areas where you need power to, again, robotics. So you have that flexible outer jacket that's going to give you the wear and tear of bending possibly over time.
Right.
And so, again, another industrial cable.
Right. Right. And it, being twisted wire instead of solid, like you said, gives it the flexibility. And really, literally, there's not much difference between that and solid copper as far as data transmission goes.
Yeah.
It's slight, but so for solid copper for runs that never move, fine. But when you want the cable to be able to flex, the stranded is the best.
It is. It's just the way to go.
Yep.
No doubt about that. Wow, we're coming to the end of the show already.
How about that,
Things go
huh?
by fast. Hey, can we watch that cicada video once again? We got to watch that once again.
I don't know.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for that, how about you like, subscribe, and share this podcast? Remember, we're on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Arizona time. So we appreciate you joining us today. Please don't hold this next video against us. I mean, John.
Okay, here you go.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Here we go. Make sure dip it in
He's
the
like,
beer.
what are you looking at it for? Just do it.
Ugh.
He's
like, yeah, okay.
like, I can't taste anything. I'm drunk.
I don't know. He's pretty early in that beer.
Yeah,
unless he's
you're
already had a
right.
few.
That's true.
Oh,
The wing.
Yeah.
That's
This guy was the pro. He's pinched the wings and
yep.
there you go. Where was this game again?
Montreal, is it?
No, that's
No.
They
Oh.
said the Trash Panda, so I wonder if that's the Alabama minor league team.
It could
That's
be.
minor league.
Okay.
Yeah.
could be. Those guys have eagles on. I don't know. Never know.
Anyway, enjoy your dinner tonight.
Yes. Yes, don't even put that out of your mind just for your sanity. But we appreciate you being here. And until next week, I'm Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson, and thank you once again.
Thanks for joining us.